Hello, folks, and welcome to the Democratizing SEO podcast, a podcast for marketers who seek to have a better understanding of the SEO channel in order to engage with it more successfully. My name is Austine Esezobor. I am an SEO consultant and your host for this podcast. When was the last time you optimized your CMS? I mean, from an SEO point of view, when was the last time you made updates to your CMS with SEO involvement? CMS optimization is an underspoken aspect of SEO that I think every marketer should bear in mind. If you haven't worked on your website in years, this is a clear indication to an SEO that you're behind on the search landscape. The search landscape of the SEO industry itself, not necessarily the search landscape of your industry. There's a difference. You really want to optimize your CMS every year as part of your housekeeping or website keeping work. Here's why I say this. Google's objective is what? To organize the world's information and present it to their users quickly. To do this, they index, crawl, and rank websites, right? Well, part of having an optimized CMS means you facilitate the indexing, crawling, and possibly, more importantly, the ranking of your website. The more you help Google, the more you make it easy for them to do their job, to achieve their objective. The easier it is for them to index, crawl, and rank your site, the better they can determine where to rank it against competitors that also allow Google to do these three things: index, crawl, and rank. When every website facilitates Google in achieving these three things, the difference maker comes down to who makes it easier for them. The incremental difference between you and competitors matter a great deal. In other words, everything else being equal, if your competitors makes it easier for Google to index, crawl, and rank their sites, and you make it less easy, they are likely to outrank you. This is the case for every facet of SEO, possibly even more so with the optimization of your CMS. If, for example, your CMS is unable to produce an auto-update an XML sitemap, this is an SEO issue that makes your website ranking ability less easy. Perhaps not directly, but when you're dealing with high-stakes pages where incremental differences makes a huge impact, yes, it does impact your ranking ability. You're making it less easy for Google to crawl your pages. You're making it less easy for Google to determine the more important pages to crawl. You're making it less easy for Google to ascertain whether your pages are better than all other competitors. When you're doing this, making it less easy, and a brand competitor is making it easy, consistently, who do you reckon Google will rank higher? Everything SEO related comes down to how your CMS functions for your website. So why would you not service it for SEO performance? The incremental difference matters. They matter a great deal. If your CMS doesn't have the functionality to publish pages with a self-referencing canonical, with the option to override it, you need to have your CMS optimized. Here's why I say this with this little example right here. At some point in your SEO journey, you'll realize that the incremental difference to help your website's ranking ability goes beyond your website. In the last podcast, I talked about optimization on a website level and optimization on a people level. Optimizing your CMS as part of the improvement of your website is along this way of thinking, this approach to SEO. Yes, you could quite rightly have an SEO person who continuously audits your website to highlight things like canonical issues. You could rightly do this. Or you could have SEOs and devs and content editors or managers work together to find a better solution to ensure that all pages are published with a self-referencing canonical tag, unless overridden. This would be an optimized way of having the three departments work together, as opposed to the SEO firefighting approach, the approach where SEO uncovers issues, sends them to the two departments to fix, and rinse and repeats forever. This isn't the ideal way of optimizing your website. This is an indication that you haven't progressed much in your SEO journey. This is an approach used perhaps when you begin your SEO journey. And even this approach wouldn't be an ideal way of doing things these days. Why? Because the cost of doing SEO is a lot higher now. Certain functionalities required on a CMS that were big deals, let's say 10 years ago, are standard now. Your CMS being able to generate an XML sitemap is a standard functionality. It's one of the requirements of having a website. It's a must if you want to attain traffic via organic search. Anything less than negatively impacts your website's ranking ability. What ends up happening is SEOs work to address this area of optimization, this area of a threat to your site's ranking ability. As they spend this time addressing this threat, they ignore other potentially more important threats to your site's ranking ability. In other words, SEOs spend their time trying to avoid losing rankings, as opposed to proactively seeking to improve rankings. There is a difference. So, consider this. If it has been over 2 years since you last optimized your CMS, are you proactively improving your SEO? Or are you simply maintaining your SEO? Maintaining your SEO with a status that's 2 years old or more is an approach that's way out of date. Optimizing your site with a CMS that hasn't been updated in years is an approach that's way out of date. Having SEOs work on housekeeping jobs isolated from other departments is an approach that's way out of date. When you use such approach with your SEO and your competitors do not, who do you reckon Google is likely to rank higher? All right, folks, let's leave it there for now. Stay tuned for more from Democratizing SEO. Subscribe to the podcast. You can find it on your podcasting app of choice. All right, folks, my name is Austine Esezobor. I'm an SEO guy. I'll be with you on a weekly basis to enlighten you on wielding SEO to success. That'll do it for now, folks. Until next time, bye for now.